Hey guys, um, 2020 has been a real learning experience for me as far as grief. Had a lot of grief this year. Actually, mine started in 2019, and I've talked about that in previous videos, but grief. Just keep on revisiting it. Um, Earlier on the 3rd, uh, I learned that another YouTuber's mother passed away, and I won't say who because it's not my place to say here on this format, but it got me to thinking about, you know, grief again. It's just a topic that's not going to go away this year. And started thinking about my own parents and how they're all pretty much in the at-risk category for the pandemic that's going around. Uh, my father's still around, and he's up there in years, and he was a smoker for many years of his life, and still has his wits about him, but, you know, it would really suck if he got the Rona. My stepmother, his wife, she is in an extreme risk category. She has had 2 lung transplants, and since this is something that attacks the lungs, and she's always on immunosuppressant drugs to keep her new lungs from being rejected, and she already has oxygenation problems, which have had her pass out and then, break a hip, break a rib, hit her head. She's had all these things happen, and recently was in the hospital where there's a lot of Rona. you know, she is she's extremely at risk right now. But I've had about 9 months to prepare for that if it were to happen. Um, it's been a fear that I've been thinking about. Like, in the middle of a pandemic, I'm going to have to brave the airports myself. It's just, it's scary. And, my biological mother, she's in an assisted living style place where, there's a lot of neighbors, a lot of people going back and forth, but she has her own place there that she's in a bubble, doesn't see anyone. I haven't seen her personally in person since this pandemic started, and that's one of the reasons why she's in this state, is she wanted to see more of her family, and it's just been too much of a risk. Thank goodness for Amazon, huh? You can have things shipped to someone's doorstep and not have to really, put them at risk. But it's been hard on everyone. My clients, they, I can't go into their stories, but, there's 100 of them that I have in a week because I do group therapy for DUIs, and yeah, if you see that many people in a week, you're going to get stories every week of grief. And it's been building up in me, you know. I've only lost 3 clients so far this year, knock on wood. It was over 40 last year, but I was in a different environment, you know. Detoxes lose a lot more clients, and you have to expect it if you're in addictions. This field, just, you lose clients, you know. It's not for the faint of heart. And, yeah, I just had Sister Danger ask me if I was channeling my inner Veruca Salt when talking about the arrangements for somebody else's passed away loved one. And I was like, no, I actually felt like I was channeling my inner Dr. Gregory House. But, there's just this sense that you can build up of, there's time to feel pain, but sometimes you just gotta set it aside for a second and deal with the logistics of the situation. And I'm pretty good at that, I'd say. But you do still have feelings creep up on you. I'll say making a video about the passing of Felinoid reminded me of the way that I didn't really have time to mourn Inventor Gorilla when he passed away. I was asked to speak at the online wake for Felinoid that's coming up, and I actually don't feel like I was close to him in the last 5 years. I mean, maybe I was years ago in back channels and on live streams and whatnot, but he had a lot closer friends that deserve to speak at his wake before I am in line. And I really feel like a similar situation happened in Inventor Gorilla's passing. People went to the funeral personally, and there were a few people that didn't, that probably, maybe they were closer to him, but just couldn't make the arrangements in their life at the time. I know I was stuck where I was. And right now, a lot of people are probably, weighing their options when they're hit with, death after death this year. Do you really want to risk going through an airport and becoming one of those statistics yourself? Do you want to travel to a place where you're unfamiliar with and just expose yourself to the possibility of catching it yourself? So, and people have to make decisions like this all the time. Like, would the person who was passed away want you to be out the airfare when they would have known that you're tight on bills anyway? Would they rather you just make a YouTube video and share your thoughts? I know if I were to pass away, I wouldn't want anyone to jeopardize their living situation just to go to some physical place when we can share our feelings like this. I get a bigger audience than I would get at a funeral just talking to you guys like this. And I've seen funerals during COVID, and they're not the same. Misty and I walk our dogs sometimes in cemeteries because Clyde is a other dog aggressive dog. Um, and we can see people pulling up and coming out, one carload at a time to go pay their respects, and that is just not the same. It's like, it reminds me of the drive-through windows at a McDonald's more than a regular funeral, So, would I want people to shell out money just to attend something like that when it isn't even the real deal? It's not. It's the COVID style of funeral. No, um, no. I wouldn't want the money spent on the airfare from everyone. I'm not just talking about YouTubers. I'm talking about my own family. I want them all to stay put. Have my ashes put into some fireworks and then delivered to them through the mail. They could light it off and spread me around everywhere. Who cares? Just don't put yourself out. I want all my family to be safe and secure. Think about yourself. Yeah. So, earlier this week, I talked about a YouTuber that disappeared, Justicar, and it's been a few days. I put it out there that I'm looking for him, and I figured that was the more responsible way to do it than to speak what's on my mind. And I'll just say that, even seeing a video made by him or any sign of life from him would allay my fears. But what's on my mind with regards to Justicar, aka Integral Math, aka Jonathan, is that we had a mutual friend who ended up doing some very bad things and went to jail for it. And Justicar's disappearance kind of corresponds to the same time frame of when that other person was busted and went to jail. And all I really want to know is that the Justicar is not a part of any of that, even though I know he was a little close to that other person, that mutual friend of ours. And so I don't want to make this an accusation, but the fact that he's conveniently missing from YouTube and the timeline lines up as to maybe he was a part of that. I'm very, very curious. And I wouldn't even have to be addressed by anything in order for me to have my fears about that put at ease. I just want to see any sign of life on any platform showing that the Justicar is still around, so that I can quit digging, and just put that out of my mind. But I have some suspicions. And I think I'm gonna put Dar0A0Nakk's name in the title of this video, even though I've gone 14 minutes without talking about it. He's on the list of YouTubers that we don't know what happened to him. Last we heard, his last video, he said that he had moved to Peoria from Philadelphia, and he said that he's not dead yet in the end of that video, and that was the last that anyone heard of him. And it was a very strange disappearance. He was a regular on a panel that we used to call the Friday Night Roundtable, then the Saturday Night Roundtable. And yeah, that was 8 years ago. He made his last video and just disappeared. And when I was talking with Phantom Lion about all the people that were missing, and we found out about Felinoid, Dar0A0Nakk was also on our short list of people that we really want to know what happened. And a lot of people make a video saying, "Hey, I'm back. Did you miss me?" And then that's followed by a period of silence even longer than the one before. But this one, it's it's been 8 years, and I really want to know what happened to Dar0A0Nakk. I'll put a link in the description box so that if you want to look for him, you can. I have an idea of why Losoyo stopped making YouTube videos and privated his account. There's a lot of people who decide that they don't want this world affecting the real world. But the fact that his good friend Michael, RationalRountable, stopped making videos like 8 months ago and then just kind of went radio silent after he was a pretty regular uploader, that's got me worried. I don't know what's going on there, but in the last 5 years, I really fell apart from a lot of the YouTubers that I spent time with when I first joined. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It was probably good for them for a while, because I haven't been the nicest guy on the internet. Let me tell you. And I'll throw into the mix that we're also wondering what happened to Fruitikay, and that's between me and Serious Mind. Both of us were wondering why we were ghosted by Fruitikay. And yeah. Don't know any way to contact her, but it would be nice to know that she was still alive. I'm sure you all have your own thoughts about a lot of people that stop making videos altogether. My subscriptions were full of people who just kind of disappeared, like Egston Dodo or DOS American Atheist, or the list goes on. But yeah, I guess I think it's time that we reach out to some of those people that we lost and try to reconnect, because it's good to know that people are still alive and doing well. Look out for each other. Anyway, that's it. See you later.